Hello everyone, this is Ronnie with another video about the raw vegan diet and lifestyle, and I want to talk today about a video that I saw with a couple of videos that I've seen with John Kohler, and he has a channel called OK Raw, and John's been a raw vegan for like a long time, and he's been one of the speakers at the Woodstock Fruit Festival and other events. He was at the Canada Fruit Fest last year, and he is a little bit different towards what a lot of people are doing who go to those events in terms of how he approaches his diet and his lifestyle. And some of it I think that I don't understand, or I don't fully uh, maybe agree with, or maybe I just don't like the way he puts it across. So he did some videos recently, and one of them was basically saying that he doesn't doesn't eat as much fruit anymore, or too much fruit is a bad thing, and you need balance and you don't want to eat too much fruit. And I just find this a confusing message. And I think what I've heard people say this kind of message before, and they often say, I'm not saying that fruit isn't as bad. I eat fruit, I love fruit, blah blah blah, just not too much, right? And that's kind of the message. The reality is that what people hear when they hear you say that kind of message, this is what we've got to be aware of when we're promoting a healthier diet and lifestyle, is that most people out there agree with that message, which is fruit is good for you but not too much, which is what he's saying. That is what every single person in the world is doing, or says they're doing. Fruit's good for you, I just don't want to eat too much of it. And they think too much of it is like 2 pieces a day or something, or 3 pieces of fruit a day or whatever. And it's all about balance, and it's all the same excuses that people use, right? And that's what I'm concerned about when people are putting out a message, is what is the interpretation of the message, not the reality of what they mean by the message, which is that John might mean that he's eating, a lot more fruit than the average person. But the average person who's coming into this lifestyle, who hasn't got experience and knowledge and hasn't been around people that do it, when they hear that message of fruit's good for you but not too much, then they just think to themselves, well, I'll just not eat that much, I'll just eat the same amount of fruit as I'm still eating. So you've got to be concerned about that. Now, on another level, is John right about this idea that you don't want to have too much fruit? Well, what I'm interested in is, what is John eating instead of eating fruit? So if you need 2,000 calories in a day, or 2,500 calories a day, and he's eating a certain amount of that from fruit, the rest of that, what is he getting it from that is better than or equal to fruit? What is he getting it from? And what I find difficult to believe is that there's really any food that is better than fruit for you to be eating as a source of your calories. Vegetables are okay. They don't digest as well as fruit. We're not as well adapted to eat vegetables. They don't taste particularly good to us. They don't give us a lot of calories. They have high levels of different minerals and stuff, which we don't really need. They have higher levels of protein and stuff, which we don't really need. They have higher levels of actually toxic compounds, which we don't need, than fruit has. And they have a much lower level of carbohydrate. They have lots of calories in them, but we can't access them. So leaves and things like that and grass have loads of calories, not for us, but for animals that can actually digest them. Like a cow will get a lot of calories from grass. We don't. And monkeys and stuff, they'll get more calories from leaves than we do, because if we put leaves in our mouth, we don't have the enzymes to start breaking down those leaves. The cellulose, which is a sugar, which is a carbohydrate, OSE at the end. The cellulose we cannot break down into sugar. So we and all animals basically, I don't know if this is completely true, so I'm going to limit this. But a lot of animals, maybe not all, but a lot of animals, the same as us, they have blood sugar, they have blood, they have blood sugar, That blood sugar feeds all of the cells and the brain, and sugar is just a part of respiration, the respiration process. You can look that up in a textbook if you like, but I think you probably know what I'm talking about. So they're taking grass, turning it into cellulose because they've got the digestive enzymes to do that. We don't. We have the digestive enzymes for fruit, and it's quite simple. It's really not that much harder than that. So when someone's saying, yeah, don't eat too much fruit, what is the thing that you're eating outside of fruit that is better than fruit? So then we can have a look at some of the things that John's recommended. Freeze-dried vegetables, freeze-dried. Probably nuts and seeds, fats, other sources of fat, oil, which I believe you consume some oil, kimchi, which is basically fermented vegetables with lots of salt and vinegar added, kale chips, dried dehydrated foods, salty foods, salt. It all comes down to this. Almost always when people don't like fruit or don't want to eat too much fruit, they want to eat salt, right? And that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate to me that people want to eat or can't stop eating or want to eat salt, you know. It really comes down to that. Salt and a few other things, but mostly salt, right? Because a lot of these things you wouldn't eat without salt. Kimchi and fermented vegetables and stuff like that. You wouldn't eat it without a lot of salt and vinegar added. So kale chips and things. So dried things. I don't believe that any of these things. And I think there was a video that John made called 10 things that he eats that aren't raw. And the reason why he eats them. And I've not watched that whole video, but I've seen a few of the things in the video, and I'm like, these aren't better than fruit. How are any of these things better than fruit? So there's this weird thing still in the raw vegan movement that too much fruit's bad, fruit's something, and it's because all these people want to eat salt at the end of the day or something savoury or whatever. You can have that opinion or whatever. You can create your own opinions on these things. But if you were crash landed in the middle of a tropical forest somewhere, so you have enough heat to survive, you don't need to create a fire or whatever, but you've got enough heat, and you're going to go around and look for food, are you going to find kimchi or, you know, freeze-dried vegetables? Are you going to eat any vegetables? Are you going to eat leaves? Are you going to eat grass? Are you going to find nuts and seeds and things like that? Are you going to find them? Are you going to be able to sit there, break them open? You know, so it's pretty obvious that we're being steered towards fruit, whether we like it or not. It's the only thing that if we were to go out into the forest and put fruit in your mouth, it would just be mind-blowing experience compared to every other food, compared to eating grass, eating leaves, eating wood, eating insects, eating dead animals. What else is there out there? There's not a lot of other sources of food. Flowers, maybe. That's it, really. Just it's other living things. We have to eat something that was once alive or is part of something that's alive. And I just can't see anything in the same league as fruit. I mean, when people talk about fruits being hybridized, fruits being whatever, blah blah blah, fruit this, fruit that. What do you think about vegetables? Do you not think they've been hybridized? Where do you ever find? When have you ever seen a cauliflower out in the forest? You know, when have you ever seen a lettuce or a cabbage? They don't exist. You know, these are flowers that got completely changed over years, and I don't see that as a bad thing. I'm just saying that these didn't exist. Our ancestors weren't eating these things. We're not adapted to eat them. We clearly can eat, but I just want you to think, like, leaves. Have you ever tried to eat a leaf? Have you ever enjoyed it? What about grass? You know, so human beings are frugivores, and if you cannot accept that, then I think you're always going to be you're always going to be holding your health back a little bit. If you cannot accept the fruit is what we need, and that it's as simple as that. It's not some big complex issue where you need to have a certain degree of fruit and a certain amount of nuts and seeds and a certain amount of this and a certain amount of this. It's fruit is the food for us. Now, if you want to eat these other things, that's fine. You're eating them because of taste or a particular desire to eat them, or the way they've been processed so they have some kind of flavour to them. But you're not eating them. You're not eating them because it's better than fruit, or fruit is lacking something which these things make up for. I don't believe that. I think you can eat these things if you like, but if you really think that kale has something special about it that fruit doesn't have, I think that you are being held back by a dogmatic sort of idea, something that was probably taught to you as a child or something, that, or that you maybe thought as a child, that if something is delicious and sweet, then it can also be nutritious. And that's a lie. That's wrong. Fruit is the best food for us. It's the food that people are missing out on. It's the food that people's diets are deficient in. It's the food that will reduce your chance of cancer, diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, and a range of other conditions that are what really take away people's health at the end of their life and eventually kill them. So fruit is the food you want to go towards. Have no doubt about that. And have no fear in these ideas. And the idea when someone says fruit's great but don't eat too much fruit, or fruit's great but make sure you eat vegetables, it's like, everyone's eating vegetables. That's like, honestly, if you go to the hospital, all the people that are dying, all the people that are diseased, all the people that have type 2 diabetes, heart disease, all these things, they're eating vegetables. They get a plate of food and it's got vegetables on them, they eat them. Doesn't make a difference, right? People are eating their vegetables. Okay, maybe you're saying they don't eat enough or whatever, but people are eating that stuff. What they aren't eating is fruit as a meal, fruit as the staple of your diet. Fruit is the food to go towards, to focus on. It doesn't matter what you think about all the other foods that have this and that in them, and high level of this, and this has got loads of minerals in it, and this has got loads of fat in it. Fruit is what you are looking for, and you need to have faith in that. So if you want to learn more about the raw vegan diet, you can come to UK Fruit Fest in 21st to the 28th of July 2019. Check out the link below and find out more about that. I'm going to be doing a webinar this week with Christina Carrillo Bucaram, who's going to be coming to the festival again. I've also got a book that you can get called The 11 Principles of Raw Vegan Success. You can check that book down below, and if you're in Glasgow, if you want to come to a free group, then look at that, look at the details for that down below. So thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe, leave your comments below, and ask me questions for future videos. Thank you very much.